the upshot of all of it is that she's approaching marriage, and she's approaching the idea of relationships as though it's all about what it does for me and what it makes me as a person. And what does it bring to me? And underpinning that is this completely unexamined assumption that our default condition is always to be alone, and that in fact it's desirable to re-attain a condition where we can be absolutely alone if necessary. And my argument is that that's fundamentally predicated on an abundance of resources, and I don't think that we can be confident enough that that material substrate will continue to obtain for enough women for us to be promoting that as a way of approaching what relationships are and how we inhabit them. I mean, if I'm right. Again, this is really the old lefty and the old anti-capitalist in me talking, but I've never quite been able to shake an apocalyptic feeling, and nothing which has happened really since 2016 has done anything to assuage my feelings that really we are sort of scraping the barrel of what progress is able to afford us, in a great many wider fields than just that of feminism. I feel like we're reaching diminishing returns on consumer capitalism. We're diminishing returns in terms of you look at fracking and the amount of the amount of energy that goes in for the amount of energy that comes out. It feels as though we're scraping the bottom of the barrel on a number of fronts.
Yeah.
And I'm far from uncomplicatedly a sort of Greta Thunbergite, but I do wonder sometimes how much longer we can keep running out over thin air. And again, I hope I'm wrong, but what if I'm right? Then, if I'm right, and if my hunch is right, and really this isn't going to continue, then sooner or later material abundance for everybody is going to come to an end. And to my eye, that's already happened for the working classes. That was what happened under Thatcher and Reagan. And it's coming for the lower middle classes now. Everything which happened under COVID looked to me, whatever the stated intention was, like a methodical asset stripping of the petit bourgeoisie in favour of an enormous upward transfer of wealth, so that progress and abundance can continue for the people at the top just for a little bit longer, just at the expense of immiserating yet another rung at the bottom of the social ladder. And I think, well, if this is right, I will get back to marriage and the importance of marriage in this context. But really, if the world is poorer and more dangerous and more unpredictable, and you're a woman and you want to have kids, you'd be mad to try and go it alone. You would be, if the world gets more violent, do you really want to be navigating it without a big strong guy who's got your back? I mean, that sounds like from the point of view of a world of abundance, that sounds like an incredibly regressive thing to say. But imagine not believing that in a world which is full of unpredictable, violent people who don't play by the rules. Imagine not having a husband in that world. It's a living nightmare. And yeah, I mean, this is really these are sort of precepts. These are feminist precepts for a dystopia that we don't have yet. But I worry about the world my daughter's going to grow up into. And I think just in case, maybe we should be thinking a little bit differently about how we form relationships and what we think they're for. And to me, what that is something like a post-romantic covenant that says actually what we're doing together is, this isn't about what you are to me as a vector for self-actualization. This is about what we are to one another as the foundation for life in common.
Do you think